Who's the good guy and who's the bad guy in Venezuela? Is it the government or the US-owned puppets that are attacking the country and instigating all the violence? Well, let's have a good way of looking at it. People like to have guns, and people like to have guns to defend themselves from fascism, totalitarian government, war, whatever. Isn't it a very common right-wing belief that we should all be armed, that everybody should have guns, and that the government's come to take away our guns at any time? Yeah, in fact, as Marxists, we wholeheartedly believe that. Marx specifically said that the working class should be armed. The arming of the whole proletariat with rifles, guns, and ammunition should be carried out at once, and the workers must organize themselves into independent guard with their own chiefs and general staff. The aim is that the bourgeois democratic government not only immediately loses all backing amongst the workers, but from the governance finds itself under the supervision and threat of authorities behind whom stands the entire mass of the working people. As soon as the new government is established, they will commence to fight the workers, in order that this party, i.e. the Democrats, whose betrayal of the workers will begin with the first hour of victory, should be frustrated in its nefarious work. It is necessary to organize and arm the proletariat. Karl Marx specifically states that the workers must be armed. The people must be armed. So what should we say of anyone who's trying to take guns away from the people? Well, naturally, we would consider them enemies. That is exactly what right-wing forces in Venezuela are trying to do right now. There are these groups called colectivos. They are collections of people who organize production together, make democratic decisions about the areas where they live and whatnot. So it's kind of like a commune in a more modern sense. What they don't have is police. They don't have government agents to go around controlling the public. What they do have is their own militias made up of their own people, which means it kind of shatters the idea that we need police officers to, come around and tell us what to do. It's actually capitalism that needs the sharp stick of the police to keep the worker in line. We can police ourselves when our own interests don't run against each other. I'm not saying it's an ideal, perfect situation that all contradictions have been resolved in these collectivos, but even this small level of social reorganization demonstrates the lack of a need for one. The problem is the right-wing forces in Venezuela want to get rid of these. They want to disarm these collectives so that they have no means of defending themselves.
Yo particularmente pienso que son los grupos colectivos y el gobierno que incita a la violencia. Estos grupos armados están aquí en Venezuela haciendo vida y secuestran y matan y roban a la gente hace mucho tiempo. Estos grupos armados hacen vida libre en Venezuela y una de las cosas que nosotros exigimos como venezolanos es que desarmen a esos grupos armados.
These collectivos are the people, the everyday working class people, many of them poor. Yet these groups seek to take guns away from them. These people say that they're standing up for the people of Venezuela. Yet here they are advocating those guns being taken away. So who's really the good guy here? These collectivos, they're regular everyday people that are trying to defend their homes, defend their families, defend all the gains that they've made out of the Bolivarian revolution. These men and women are not soldiers. They're regular everyday people. You're not disarming the Bolivarian government by trying to take guns away from these people. You're taking guns away from the people, not the government. And yet they say they stand for freedom. When we look at who's actually been killed in these protests, something I read was like 80% of the people who've been killed were pro-government, defending their country from the right-wing agitators coming from U.S. imperialism and neoliberal globalization. So it's kind of funny when we see all these right-wingers running around in the first world saying how, particularly the United States, saying how, oh, the government in Venezuela is evil, Chavez is taking people's, he's a dictator, forgetting, of course, that Chavez actually died quite a while ago. And then they preach this whole thing about how about people should have guns to defend themselves from the government. Well, here it is, people autonomous from the government to a large extent. They organize themselves, they live themselves, and they defend themselves without the state. Yet here they are, asking that they be dismantled. I mean, there's right-wing people going out in the media all the time saying, yeah, you should disarm them, they're just thugs of the government. Yet they are autonomous from the government. So where's all these big, lines about how people should keep their guns so that the government can't come and get them? Here they are, advocating that those guns be taken away. Doesn't this tell us who's really on the side of the people? Maduro and the Bolivarian government want to arm these people even more, make more colectivos to defend themselves even better. Yet these right-wing opposition groups, wholly owned subsidiaries of U.S. imperialism, want those guns taken away. Why? Because they know they won't support the phony outrage that comes out of the right wing in the country. So if you're a right-winger and you support the people having guns, which they should always have guns, explain this by your own logic. That would make these people, the right-wing agitators, wholly owned subsidiaries of U.S. imperialism, the enemy. Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. While you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.